Hi everyone, welcome to Relatively Refined. My name is Patty. In today's video, it is all about the harvest. My garden is exploding, so we're going to harvest some tomatoes and potatoes, and we are going to whip up a really lovely appetizer, have a glass of wine. I think that sounds like a great afternoon. What do you think? Let's go ahead and get started. This year I grew Yukon Gold potatoes, and they are 100-day potatoes. So I marked the calendar and it was time to pick them. But if it wasn't obvious by the calendar, you could certainly tell by the plants. The plants had completely died off, and that is the telltale sign that it is time to pick potatoes. As you can see, it was a bumper crop. I only had about 3 square feet that I was working with and loads of potatoes. Now they are small, I think in part because we had an extremely dry and hot summer. So typically I would stop watering maybe a few weeks before harvest, and but the whole summer was just so dry. I had been watering and fertilizing, and then I just kind of gave up. So the soil is like dust. Now, after I pick potatoes, I usually will leave them out to cure for a week or so, but I don't know, these may not need much time at all. We'll see. But I will leave them out probably for 3 or 4 days. They are very dry. What you want to make sure is that you don't have any moisture if you're going to store them. Obviously, if you're going to use them right away, it doesn't matter. But I have way too many here to use right away, so I will be storing them. Also, picking potatoes is so fun. It's like a little treasure hunt. You get to search and dig, and I bet if I went out there now, this is several days after I did this, I would probably still find more potatoes. So like I said, these will go on my front porch for a few days to cure, to dry. What I'll do is I'll just kind of wipe any excess dirt or moisture off of them. I'll spread them in a single layer to dry on the front porch. And then I'll bring them in a cool, dry place. I will usually wrap them in burlap in a basket in my basement. And then they should last most of the fall and into the winter. Because it's been so dry, you can see these potatoes just need like a little bit of a dusting. There's no mud or anything on them, so very easy. And cleanup is equally as easy. These plants were so desiccated, so easily removed. I just picked them up, tossed them in my cart, along with some of the smaller potatoes that are just not viable or any damaged ones, and off they go to the compost. This year I grew 2 varieties of indeterminate tomatoes. The large ones you see me picking, like this one right here, are Brandywine, and I actually grew those from seed. Those are my very favorite. And then I also grew a couple of early girls that I got from the nursery as starters. And this is my haul after just about 45 minutes in the garden. One day, not bad. All right. right, welcome to my kitchen where we are inundated with tomatoes, and that's a good problem to have. I just got back from just about a week being gone, bringing my son to college, getting him settled in, getting my daughter settled into college. And when I got home, it was like a harvest explosion. And this is what happens when you go away in August here. You just come back to everything being ripe and ready to go. Now, my mom stayed at our house for a little bit while we were gone, and she kept up as best she could with those tomatoes. But she left, and now we are just completely overrun with tomatoes. So while we were away, moving my son into college, we went out to dinner. It's a kind of a tradition for us. We go out to dinner at this place called Carson's, and they have an appetizer there that is delicious. It's like baked goat cheese with pesto and tomato on the bruschetta on a toasted bread. So that got me thinking about what I could do with these tomatoes when I got home. So today we're going to make a bruschetta, and bruschetta, if you don't know, is an Italian appetizer. It is made with toasted bread, usually rubbed with garlic, olive oil, and then you can top it with a variety of things, but typically it's topped with tomato and basil. So today we're going to make the topping and let that marinate, and then we will get the baguette, the bread, and make the bruschetta and make this delicious Italian appetizer. Maybe get a nice glass of white wine going and serve this fabulous bruschetta appetizer with fresh tomatoes from the garden, fresh basil from the garden. I didn't grow garlic, so I will be using store-bought garlic. But if you have fresh garlic, even better for this appetizer. So anyway, I've got all my ingredients out. Tomatoes, of course, I have for days. You're gonna need good olive oil, good balsamic. I really like the Kirkland brand from Costco, but whatever is your favorite, go for it. You're going to need salt, and I'm using a little bit of crushed red pepper flakes. Basil, I have fresh basil from my garden. It's seen better days. We're at the end of the season, but I was able to pick some leaves of fresh basil. And I think that is about it. So it's just garlic, olive oil, balsamic vinegar, salt, crushed red pepper, basil, and of course, tomatoes. So let's get started with this delicious appetizer, shall we? Have a skillet. I'm going to put it over low heat. I'm adding just about a quarter cup of olive oil. And I'm going to add a couple of cloves of garlic. Now, if you have fresh garlic, you just need to slice it thinly. I'm using minced garlic. And basically, I'm just going to heat it for just a couple of minutes, kind of saute it, infuse it, and this will go into our bruschetta. Go into our tomatoes, which will top our bruschetta. So that's just going to sit for about two minutes. Okay, while the oil and garlic are cooling on the stove, I'm going to dice up 4 large tomatoes. Now, that is not a problem for me. I have so many tomatoes. So just to let you know, that's what we're gonna do while that's cooling. And then I'm going to put them over in a sieve or a strainer to let the juice come out of them. I'll be adding salt and so on. So anyway, just to let you know, I did that. I'm letting it cool, and now I'm gonna work on my tomatoes. So here are the 4 tomatoes that I selected, and I'm gonna give these a rinse, and then I'm gonna come back and chop them up. right, so I'm going to dice these up. These are juicy, so definitely going to need to strain them out, but I'm just going to get started here. Okay, so to these chopped tomatoes, I'm gonna add about 1/2 teaspoon of salt and kind of let it macerate, do its thing, and let that sit for about 5 minutes to drain out. In the meantime, while that's draining, let's slice up some basil. You're gonna need about 1/4 cup. I have what I have. I picked what I could. My basil is kind of going by. So I'm just gonna stack these. Yep, I can do that. Really tiny. And you know what? That probably is about 1/4 cup. So I think I'm good there. So I'm gonna let the tomatoes drain out and then we'll combine it. Okay, so I think my tomatoes are pretty well drained. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna transfer them to a bowl, which is actually gonna be this bowl. So I'm just gonna dump this into here. Okay. And then I'm gonna put the tomatoes in the bowl. So here's my tomatoes. And now to this, I'm gonna add my basil. I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. Another 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to add a pinch of red pepper flake, and try, when you get a pinch, try to kind of release it in your hands, kind of releases the oil. Pinch of that. And then I'm going to add the cooled off garlic and olive oil. And then I'm just going to give this a nice toss. This looks amazing. And this, you're going to want to let it sit for about a minimum of 30 minutes, but you can let it sit for 2 days. I'm actually going to let this, I'm going to put this in the refrigerator and probably let it sit at least overnight. All right, I am getting ready to transfer this tomato topping into an airtight container. And I wanted to show you how much juice came out of that. So what do I do with this? Can I make like Bloody Marys? What do I do? I've got tomato juice, so I don't know. I'll have to look that up. That'll be for another day. But anyway, I'm gonna get this transferred. Okay, admittedly, I did not let my tomato mixture sit overnight, but I did let it sit for most of the day. So it's been about 4 hours or so, and I'm now ready to make the bruschetta part. So this is the charred bread or the toasted bread that the tomato topping is going to go on. So I have an oven heated up at 400 degrees, and I'm just gonna rub some olive oil on the bread, and then you should rub some garlic on it as well, but I told you I don't have like fresh garlic cloves to put on it, and I think I've got enough garlic going on in the tomato topping, so I'm just going to toast up the bread and with a little bit of olive oil. So I'm using these very small pieces of sourdough.
bread for my bruschetta. You can use a baguette if you want. I think that would be perfect. And I might cut these in half so that they are a little more like appetizer size, but this is what I am doing. I have a 400-degree oven, and I'm just gonna brush, it says to brush both sides and turn it in between. So I guess I will do that. And you know, at this stage of life, this is dinner for me. This is dinner. Bruschetta, appetizers are dinner. And by the way, with this leftover tomato juice, I think, I was just looking up what to do, and you can add some lemon juice, little horseradish, salt and pepper, and a little vodka, and you can make a nice little Bloody Mary. So I don't have any celery or anything fun like that, but I think I may just add the lemon juice and horseradish and salt and pepper, a little vodka, and make a Bloody Mary. I think I have some olives too, so that might be a nice little drink to have with my bruschetta. So this is going to go into a 400-degree oven. I think it's going to be for about 15 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes. And then I will go ahead and top it. Like I said, I did not refrigerate this. I just left it out. We'll spoon that over and make a little kind of a modified Bloody Mary. Okay, I'm adding a little bit of horseradish. Oh, I already added a splash of lemon juice. I did not film that. I added a splash of lemon juice. I'm gonna add a little pepperoncini juice. A little bit of Frank's Red Hot, why not? Pepper. Salt. So I'm just going to pour this over ice with a little vodka and make a little modified Bloody Mary. And here is my toasted bread. I'm going to cut it in half. Well, I was pretty sure I had olives, but I couldn't find any. I have these little pearl mozzarella pearls. So let's see if I can get a few of these to go into my drink. So here is my Bloody Mary. Give it a taste. It's actually so good. I really like the pepperoncini juice. Okay, let's plate up our appetizer, our bruschetta. Go with, just top a little bit. Make myself 3. And it is so windy, I'm not sure you can hear me, but look how beautiful this is. We just got some rain, so I got a little puddle there, but the sun is out now. It is perfect for a little treat. I've got my bruschetta on this little white plate, all soaking up. The bread is soaking up that oil. Looks so good. And here is my Bloody Mary made with homemade tomato juice, little lemon juice, horseradish, pepperoncini brine, salt, pepper, little Frank's Red Hot, and some little mozzarella balls in there because I did not have celery or olives. So this is really thrown together, but honestly, it's delicious. And so I'm about to dig in. I'll let you know what I think. All right, everybody, I'm about to have another sip of my Bloody Mary. It is delicious. And I'm gonna have some bruschetta. Oh, I have a bee around me. I'm gonna try to get this. I don't care about me. Oops. I don't care about getting it on me, but I don't want it on my white cushions. So let's see how I do with this. All right, we're gonna bend over here. Delicious. The best and most simple appetizer, bruschetta. And honestly, on the sourdough it's perfect. Flavor is excellent. The tomato topping, I can taste everything. The garlic, the basil, and I like that the balsamic is subtle. Sometimes that can be overpowering. It is absolutely perfect. So I really hope you'll try this appetizer. It's an easy one, but if you have tomatoes like I do coming out your ears, then this makes a really great way to use them up, and something new and delicious and fresh, and a great way to usher in fall and say goodbye to the summer with a nice little tomato harvest. So cheers. All right, everyone, thank you so much for spending time with me today. I really appreciate that. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. If you've made it this far and you don't want to leave a comment, how about a tomato emoji? How's that? All right, you're going to want to make sure you are subscribed to our channel if you haven't done so already. We have some great fall content coming your way. And if you click the notification bell, then you will be notified when a new video is out. All right, everyone, I want you to take care, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Bye-bye now.